What comes to mind when you hear the word Ferrari? Speed, luxury, that iconic, screaming red. For decades, Ferrari has been the benchmark for supercars, a name synonymous with victory on the track and desire on the street. But every legend has a beginning, a single point of origin. Today, we repealing back the layers of history to uncover the story of the very first car to ever wear the prancing horse badge. This isn't just about a machine, it's about the birth of a dream. So buckle up as we go back in time to meet the Ferrari 125S. To truly understand the 125S, you first have to understand the man behind it. Enzo Ferrari. Before he was the commander of a supercar empire, Enzo was a racer, a team manager, and a man obsessed with one thing: winning. For years, he ran Scuderia Ferrari, the racing division for Alfa Romeo. His cars were dominant. His drivers were legendary. But Enzo's vision was bigger than just managing another manufacturer's team. He dreamed of cars built entirely under his name, engineered without compromise, designed for pure performance. World War II put a temporary halt to his ambitions. His factory in Maranello was even bombed. But Enzo's determination was fireproof. As soon as the war ended and the dust settled, he got to work. His dream was about to become a roaring V12-powered reality. The heart of any Ferrari is its engine, and the first one was no exception. This was Enzo's obsession. While other manufacturers were building sensible post-war cars, Enzo commissioned the brilliant engineer Joaquino Colombo to design something truly special. A tiny but mighty 1.5-liter V12 engine. Think about that for a second. A V12, an engined configuration usually found in massive luxury cars, was being squeezed into a small, lightweight racing chassis. It was an audacious move. This Colombo V12, as it came to be known, was a masterpiece of engineering. It was complex, high-revving, and it produced a sound that would become the signature symphony of Ferrari for generations to come. This engine wasn't just a power source. It was a statement of intent. It declared to the world that Ferrari was not about practicality. It was about passion and performance above all else. With the engine sorted, the rest of the car came together. The chassis was a simple yet effective steel tube frame. The bodywork was a stunning, hand-hammered aluminum shell, a style known as barchetta, or little boat. It was minimalist, functional, and breathtakingly beautiful. There were no creature comforts, no roof, no unnecessary weight. Every curve, every vent, every rivet was there for a single purpose: to go faster. Only 125S models were ever built. The S stood for sport. It was raw, it was untamed, and on March 12, 1947, Enzo Ferrari fired up its V12 engine for the first time, driving it out of the factory gates onto the streets of Maranello. A legend was born. The debut of the 125S in competition was almost a disaster. On May 11, 1947, at the Piacenza circuit, driver Franco Cortese was leading the race. The very first outing for a Ferrari-badged car was looking like a fairy tale victory. But just 3 laps from the finish line, disaster struck. A fuel pump failure forced the car to retire. Enzo, ever the perfectionist, famously described the debut as a promising failure. He wasn't discouraged. He was motivated. The failure highlighted a weakness, and for Enzo, a weakness was simply an opportunity for improvement. He and his team went straight back to the workshop, determined to turn that promise into victory. And they did, very quickly. Just 2 weeks later, at the Grand Prix of Rome, the 125S was back on the grid. This time, there were no failures. Franco Cortese drove a masterful race, crossing the finish line in first place. It was the first ever victory for a car bearing the Ferrari name. The promising failure had transformed into a resounding success. This single win opened the floodgates. The 125S would go on to win 6 of the 14 races. It entered in 1947, proved that Enzo's formula of a powerful V12 and a lightweight chassis was a winning one. The prancing horse wasn't just a symbol anymore. It was a symbol of victory. So, what happened to these two pioneering cars? This is where the story gets a little murky. A classic Ferrari tale of evolution. In the world of 1940s motorsport, cars weren't preserved in museums. They were tools, and they were constantly being modified and upgraded to stay competitive. It is believed that both of the original 125S chassis and engines were repurposed and evolved into the next model, the 159S. And then further on, the original cars, in their debut form, essentially ceased to exist. They were sacrificed for the sake of progress, their components living on in their successors. However, the legacy was so powerful that in the late 1980s, Ferrari decided to recreate this pivotal car. Using the original technical drawings and plans, they constructed a perfect replica of the 125S. This recreation now sits proudly in Ferrari's museum, a tribute to the car that started it all, allowing us to see and appreciate the genesis of the brand. The 125S may not be the fastest or most famous Ferrari, but it is without a doubt the most important. It's the genesis, the chapter 1 of a story that continues to unfold on racetracks and roads around the world. Every Ferrari you see today, from the track-honed SF92, the elegant Roma, owes its existence to this little red Barchetta. It embodies the core DNA of the brand, a passionate founder, a legendary V12 engine, a relentless pursuit of victory, and a design that is pure, functional art. The 125S wasn't just Enzo Ferrari's first car. It was the physical manifestation of his lifelong dream. It was proof that with enough passion, determination, and a screaming V12, you could build a legend from scratch. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the very beginning of Ferrari. It's a story that never gets old. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more deep dives into automotive history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what iconic car's story you'd like to hear next. Until next time, stay passionate.